All right, you can see how filthy my office is right now. We are still unpacking and everything like that. You can kind of see how this setup is looking right now. We are good to go to start editing and everything. And I'm about to edit one of the videos that kind of explains the name and the fact that you can now give to Holy Church and we can begin fundraising and everything, which is exciting. However, I was thinking, I was going through my footage and I was like, man, I shot something that was back in Greensboro and I never shared this or anything like that. It's not anything super sexy in terms of editing or anything like that. It's just me talking and kind of processing. I was having a really rough day at the time and I just figured maybe this is going to help someone. So anyways, I figured, you know what, let me throw this little intro on it and then attach it to that, and hopefully that helps someone at the end of the day. So yep, I don't know how the audio is or anything like that. It may sound a little bit terrible compared to what I'm doing now, but the thing is, it was real, it was raw, and it was kind of like processing what it means to walk on water, to go in faith, and to genuinely not know what's next. I know we talk about it, but then we all talk about this in church all the time. Everyone does. However, when you're actually walking into it, it's different, and it's tough. It's hard. So, anyways, here's a little bit of that. All right. So I just finished a run, and I guess this is church planning updates, or at least one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to bring a lot of people onto the journey with us, how you can be praying, supporting, all that kind of stuff, and I wanted to do this sort of format, even though we released the other video a few days ago. I wanted to do this kind of a format, sort of short form and everything, as a way that you could kind of be led into the everyday, unpolished, unfiltered kind of thing with church planning. It is, I don't know when I'm posting this video, but right now the day it's May 13th right now, and I haven't even edited the first video that I just posted, but one of the things I decided to do, I decided to go on a run, partly because over the weekend we went on a camping trip for Bethany and I's anniversary, 11-year anniversary, and while we went for this camping trip, on our actual anniversary we went on a hike. And last year for our anniversary we did the exact same thing. We went on a hike as well, just at a different place, but we were up in Stone Mountain, and I kind of noticed as my heart was racing as we were climbing, it was kind of like a steep, we went on the backside of Stone Mountain, the north side of it, which is kind of high. If you've ever been, you're like climbing steps practically the whole way through, and as my blood started to pump and everything like that, I kind of found myself getting a little bit more joyful, I guess you could say. I don't want to say joyful, but I just, like, endorphins were there and all that kind of stuff, so I'm feeling good, you know. And Bethany just looked at me and she's like, look, I know you like to, like, work out and everything, but the reality is you seem to be a lot more balanced when you're doing cardio. And not last year, but the year before. Was it last year? Jeez. Yeah, it was last year. Last year I ran a half marathon, and I started training the year before. I ran a half marathon, and when I was in my training season, it was great. It was, I felt healthy mentally and all that kind of stuff. And ever since we've kind of taken the leap and began to move towards planning this church, I found myself getting pretty anxious fairly regularly, and I'm not really an anxious person or anything like that, but you step out in faith and you're trusting God and everything, and we still do, and we continue to do that. But the reality is, like, your humanity can take over very, very quickly, and you can find yourself really struggling with sort of just mental health and all that kind of stuff. So I just decided, you know what, instead of weightlifting, and I can't really lift, like, for many of you may not know, but earlier this year in in January, the whole month of February, and then a little bit into March. The first 2 weeks of March, I went on a 40-day fast, and I lost a lot of like muscle mass and everything. For many of you, you know that I have often done weightlifting and all that kind of stuff, not professionally by any means, but I just did it as that was my exercise of choice before I started running. And then after I ran my half marathon, I was back in the gym and everything, and my strength was fine. I wasn't too worried about it. Went on this 40-day fast, and like I'm struggling to bench what most men can do as a warm-up, you know. And it's been a little bit of a struggle for me just to be in the physical gym. So you feel like while you're there, you're like comparing yourself with your old self, and you're like, and you honestly get a little bit insecure every now and then. You start thinking like, what is everyone else thinking of me as I'm weightlifting? What is like this other girl who looks way like smaller, like a smaller frame than me, is like squatting double what I can squat right now, and I'm like struggling with, like I do 135 on the bar, and my hamstrings immediately are like, we're done, and I'm like, I didn't even know we use hamstrings in squats. Anyways, it's like, it's just frustrating when you find yourself in that place, and yet at the same time you go, no, I'm standing here and I know the full story of why I can't lift like this, because of what the Lord convicted me to do earlier this year. And so I just felt, you know what, let me go for a run. And it's funny, like the second you do that, it's like your confidence and self-esteem can kind of like come back with endorphins and everything. It's so weird. But the reality is, like, the reason I started this run is I felt anxious, and I've got a lot to do today. And the kids are at school. Bethany's meeting with a friend right now. And I can get so alone in my thoughts and just going, God, I don't know what your plan is in all of this. Are you going to come through for us? And in my heart, in my core, in my spirit, I know hands down he will. But there is an anxiety that can come with taking a leap like this. So yeah, I just wanted to share. Hopefully that you listen to that and you see everything that goes on when people plant churches and stuff like that, and they project something, and I want them to project all the hope and faith that they have and everything, and yet at the same time I'm also like, there's that and there's this, there's both, and they're always running in the same direction. And maybe for some of you struggle with anxiety and all that kind of stuff as well, and maybe a solution can be as simple as go for a run. So love you all, see you next time.